Good morning, children. Sairam, welcome to this session. Today we will do the revision of the poem The Rum Tum Tugger. Okay, already we have done this poem. I have explained every stanza. Now you will do the summary of it. We will do the summary. I'll explain the poem again, the summary of it, as well as we will do the reference to context. Okay, who's the poet? You all know Thomas Stearns Eliot is the poet of the poem The Rum Tum Tugger. We'll do the summary of it. Yes, the Rum Tum Tugger is half a pet cat and half a domestic nightmare. He wants to the exact opposite of what you give him, isn't it? Whatever you give him, he doesn't want that. He wants to do the opposite of what we do. A grouse if you give him a pheasant, a house if you put him in a flat, a rat if you give him a mouse. Okay, so he wants the opposite. To be outside if you let him in, a feast if you give him a fish, and a rabbit if you give him a fish. If you give him fish, he wants rabbit. If you give him fish, if you give him rabbit or any other thing, he wants he wants a feast. If you give a feast, if you give him a fish, he wants a feast. Okay, and a rabbit if you give him a fish. So he wants the opposite of what we do. He blocks doorways and get into bureau drawers he cannot get out of. So he himself goes into the drawer, but he cannot get out of it, and he make a big fuss. He will not have cream unless he steals it from the larder himself. Larder is the store place. From that he has to steal himself. If you give him cream also, he will not take. But if he himself, if he is going to the larder, he will take and eat that cream. Okay. He is not fond of cuddling. Cuddling means making love, you're patting or petting the cat. He doesn't like that, but makes sure to jump into the lap of anyone who is sewing. But if you are sewing with your needle, if you are sewing something, he is always ready to lie on the lap of that person. But really, there is not much of a point to getting aggravated about him and his ways, or trying to change him, or complaining about him, because there is nothing to be done about the Rum Tum Tugger oddities. Okay, so you cannot do anything about him because you cannot change him, you cannot change his behavior, because he is like that and he will do the same thing. He will not change his character. Okay, this is about the cat, which is a very curious cat, which is called as which his name is Rum Tum Tugger. Okay, shall we do the reference to context, children? Yes. So hope you all understood the summary of that. We go through the poem. Read the poem once. It is very simple, and the summary I have put up here. You can go through the summary. Now let us do the reference to context. You can see the pictures of it. Those who don't have textbook, you can see the pictures. See, this is the Rum Tum Tugger. If you're giving a mouse, he wants a rat. Okay. He wants the opposite of what you are giving him. See there? He's going into the drawer himself, and he's locking himself in his head, and he's making a fuss if he's not able to come out of the drawer. You see the mess he has done. He's put all the pens, pencils, and all the papers, everything. He has pushed it outside. Okay, and he himself got into the bureau drawer, and he is not able to come out of that. See, the boy is looking at the mess made by that cat. Okay, see here, if you're giving him cream, he is not going to eat. You see the way how he is made on the table. He is pushing everything down. But if you give him cream, he will not take that, but he will go to the larder and steal the cream and eat. Okay, this was the picture of the cat. And the last one, if you see the man is sewing something, he's stitching something. So on that time, he will not like somebody curdling it, but he will like when somebody is stitching or sewing, he will go and lie on to that. He'll jump to the lap of that person. Okay. So this is the pictures of that poem, the Rum Tum Tugger. Those who don't have textbook, you can see this. Now coming to the reference to context. Okay. We will do this. Answer these questions with reference to context. This question is, for he will do as he do. Who is he in this? He means who? He is the Rum Tum Tugger. Who is he? Who is the cat, which he is called as the Rum Tum Tugger. Okay. Shall we go to the next? Yes. What will he do? What will he do? He will do whatever he wants to. He will not listen to anybody, isn't it? He will do whatever he wants to do, he will do. Rewrite the sentence in everyday English. For he will do as he pleases. That means he will do as he wishes, as he pleases. He will not listen to anybody. That is everyday English. We can rewrite this. This type of question is just for a revision. It will not come for any exam. Okay, it is there. This one helps you to learn the poem or learn the meaning of the poem thoroughly. Okay. Next one, second question. He is always on the wrong side of every door. This we saw. So he's all. What is the wrong side of any door? What is the meaning of the wrong side? The wrong side of the door is any side on which the rum tum tugger becomes an obstruction, because when people are walking through the door, he comes on the way. Okay? If you open the door, there he will come across it. So many people might stamp him also. So he comes in the wrong side of the door. That means the wrong side of the door is any side on which the rum tum tugger becomes an obstruction. He becomes an obstruction. So people are not able to walk properly. He comes by near their leg. That is the wrong side of any door. Why is he always on the wrong side? He is always on the wrong side because he always wants to be wherever he is not. So if you put him in a flat, he wants a house. If you put him in a house, he wants a flat. So wherever he doesn't want, what is the answer? He is always on the wrong side because he always wants to be wherever he is not. So wherever you are not supposed to be, there he wants to be. Okay? If you put him outside, he wants to get into the house. If you put inside the house, he wants to get out. So he wants to do the opposite of everything. So that is called, is on the wrong side. What does the speaker think about this habit? The speaker thinks it is terribly boring, okay, annoying or boring character. Okay, in this poem it is mentioned. So the speaker is telling that this character is terribly boring because he does the opposite of what you are trying to do, isn't it? If you want him to be inside, he wants to go out. If you give him a pheasant, he wants a grouse. So everything he will do the opposite. So he is telling, the speaker thinks it is terribly boring. Third question. So you will catch him in it right up to the ears if you put it away on the larder shelf. That means, what does in it refer to? In it means what? Inside the cream, isn't it? In it refers to the fact that the rum tum tugger is in the cream. So if you put him inside that cream, so if you give him cream, he will not eat it, but he himself wants to take it from the larder. So in it refers to the fact that the rum tum tugger is in the cream. So he is putting his head into the cream. Explain the usage up to the ears. Up to the ears implies that he is pretty much submerged into the, so his face is submerged, is dipped into the cream. Okay, up to the ears means till the ears it is dipped. His face is dipped into the cream. Submerged means dipped into the cream. What did he do earlier with the same thing? He sniffed and sneezed at the cream when it was given to him. So the speaker offered him cream, what did he do? He just turned his face, he sniffed and sneezed, but he did not take the cream. But when in the larder, what did he do? He submerged his face into the cream. So because he wants to eat what he is finding by himself, he will not take anything what you give. Okay, if you give him something, he will not take, but he himself wants to go and take anything and eat. So that's why it is told that if you give him something, he will not take. But so when the speaker offered him what? Cream, he did not eat. But he went to the ladder and is putting his head into the cream and he is eating on its own. Okay. So this is the poem. This is the meaning. I will read the poem once again. Okay. So I will read the poem once again. So you will understand the poem. Okay. So I've written from the textbook. You can just go through it. The rum tum tugger is a curious cat. If you offer him pheasant, he would rather have grouse. If you put him in a house, he would much prefer a flat. If you put him in a flat, then he'd rather have a house. If you have your textbook, you can just open this And in the previous video also I put the full poem, and just reading the poem to you, you can just listen to it properly so that you'll be thorough with the story of it. Okay, if you set him on a mouse, then he only wants a rat. If you set him on a rat, then he'd rather chase a mouse. Yes, the Rum Tum Tugger is a curious cat, and there isn't any call for me to shout it, for he will do as he do, and there's no doing anything about it. Next stanza. The Rum Tum Tugger is a terrible bore. We saw this, isn't it? He's telling he's such a terrible, boring character. This Rum Tum Tugger is a terrible bore. When you let him in, then he wants to be out. He always on the wrong side of every door, and as soon as he's at home, he'd like to get about. He likes to lie in the bureau drawer, but he makes a fuss if he can't get out. Yes, the Rum Tum Tugger is a curious cat, and there isn't any use for you to doubt it, for he will do as he do, and there's no doing anything about it. Okay. Now the third stanza. The Rum Tum Tugger is a curious beast. Beast means animal. His disobliging ways are a matter of habit. If you offer him fish, and he always wants a feast. If you offer him a fish, he always wants a feast. Then when isn't any fish, then he won't eat rabbit. If you offer him cream, then he sniffs and sneezes, he only likes what he finds for himself. He wants to find it for himself and eat. Okay, he will not take what you give him. So that is mentioned here. So you will catch up in it right up to the ears if you put it away on the larder shelf. The Rum Tum Tugger is artful and knowing. The Rum Tum Tugger doesn't care for a cuddle, but he'll leap on your lap in the middle of your swing, for there is nothing he enjoys like a horrible muddle. Yes, the Rum Tum Tugger is a curious cat, and there isn't any need for me to spout it, for he will do as he do, and there's no doing anything about it. So this is the poem, children. I have read the poem also once again, and I have done the revision. You can go through this poem. It is very simple, and you can learn for your exam. Hope you all understood the poem, children. Thank you, children. Sai Ram. Take care.